to Digital Shoptalk. This is our Thanksgiving vacation week edition, if you will. So happy early Thanksgiving to everybody out there. If you're seeing this, what are you doing for Thanksgiving anyway? You traveling?
I am.
Nice. Myself as well. Eating lots of turkey and hopefully watch some football. I don't even know who's on. But happy Thanksgiving also. The beards are back. It is Movember. Trying to grow this in as red as possible. Thanks again, too, to Rich Brown for filling in for me last week and doing a gracious interview. Lots going on here in our world. One thing, actually, that we're going to cover in the news this week is this new Hotwire PR, a great PR comm agency based in New York, San Fran. They do an annual study kind of on consumer insights and looking forward into upcoming trends for the new year, something that we'll certainly talk about over the next couple episodes, trends for 2016. But did want to highlight today a couple pieces from their recent study, one of which really off the top was that this kind of targeting groups based on their age. So marketers targeting millennials, for example. Millennials have often been talked about as the holy grail for marketers, trying to drive more revenue, really engaged on social, engaged with technology. This study is essentially saying that marketing in 2016 is now going to be age agnostic.
Right, and so they talked to, I don't know, about 400 people across a bunch of different countries, and these are the trends that people said they were going to do next year.
Yeah.
Be interesting if they can do a look back and see if people actually did it. But
it actually works.
Some of the things that were interesting to us, some of the points were really looking at the content in real time rather than planned content. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, I don't really know what that means. I'm guessing that means like when there's an event or something that happens,
yeah,
like let's produce content that's relevant right away, kind of like what Oreo did when the lights went out.
Precisely.
That kind of thing.
Bowl, yeah.
The other thing was hyperlocal. Mm-hmm. And this is something that's near and dear to our hearts. Shout out to Andrew Beckman, who has been talking about hyperlocal content
like 16 years.
For 15 years. But it is true, you know, if you are, especially if you're a brand with local presence, the more hyper local you can get with your content, the better traction you're going to get from a user experience or organic presence, social, all those types of pieces of the puzzle. So that is a trend that we hope to really push for. Yep. And then finally getting a handle on digital video is another trend. So, you know, people are cutting the cords, people are watching video everywhere. It's no longer, in my opinion, it's no longer a TV strategy, it's a video strategy. And TV being one screen, mobile being another screen, tablets being another screen. But I don't think that age targeting will ever go away. No. I mean, it's something that's such an easy thing to target. Yeah. But you know, shifting the kind of maybe the primary focus from age to what people are interested in.
Yeah, what the experience is, the user experience, right?
I mean, it's kind of like a no-brainer. So it's kind of like, you know, hopefully people are thinking that way.
Yeah, but I think it makes sense too, because you see so many brands and you know, op-eds and things like that so focused on the millennial generation that a lot of times marketers forget that there's all these other groups out here who are just as tech savvy and engaged in many ways. So
and the millennials, I'm sick of talking about millennials.
Me too.
That's all anybody talks about.
I'm not in that generation, so I can hate on it.
And I think what's interesting is, I just looked this up. I didn't know, but the next generation is called Generation Z.
Generation Z.
And if we think the millennials are tough, like this generation is going to be ridiculous. I've got a 6-year-old that was not a host earlier. His name is Zach, so Generation Z. I think he's the voice of this generation. Right. And just as an example, the other day I picked him up from school. It was a nice day. We're going to walk home, and he literally says, "Oh, Dad, can't we just get an Uber?" Right?
The 6 blocks that it was, right?
So this is the 6-year-old, and he's literally like, "Give me your phone, I'll call the Uber." So how are we going to talk to these guys? I have no idea, but...
Yeah, you talk about real-time content and short attention spans.
Holy moly. So Zach is... maybe he'll be a guest, and you'll see what I mean when we bring him on.
Happy Thanksgiving, Zachary. All right, in this week's toolbox, we're going to bounce back to this same study because one of the other big points that came out of it is kind of this rising tide within the marketing world around ad blocking. Everybody's freaking out about ad blocking. I think the first wave of it came when iOS 9 was released by Apple and started blocking ads in their app environment. And so all these kind of brand marketers are spending all these dollars and wondering if their ads are even showing up. I think this is a short-term scare for a lot of people. Ad blocking is not going to be around to stay. Advertising is alive and well. I think it's a matter of marketers taking a step back from all the hype and thinking about user experience, where those ads are serving, and what is the targeting, what is the message, right?
Yeah, we've talked about this in the past. Like, if you are doing crappy ads, then
no one's
your
gonna click
ads
them.
should be blocked, and they're not going to even show up anyway. And I know that people get frustrated about ads, but it's like, come on, people! Like, this is you're watching, you're engaging with free content. Like, I remember at Facebook, like everybody was up in arms about, oh, we're gonna show ads on Facebook. I'm quitting Facebook, and be like, oh, I'm sorry. Like,
That's a good grumpy.
here's your free stuff. Heaven forbid we show you an ad for flowers on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
So I don't,
Native advertising is another thing that comes up, right? So when people say, instead of serving a 300 by 250 display ad, right? Maybe if you are, for an example, an automotive brand, if you're worried about ad blocking, maybe you look into something like sponsored content or native advertising, in which you're essentially writing a sponsored, paid-for blog post, which is annotated as such, that tells someone how to change their own oil in 10 steps. And in that post, you are, dropping your product names, you're linking out to product pages that are relevant to the content that you're posting. So
I have more problem with native than I do with the good display campaign, because I don't think that like a lot of people understand that it is sponsored.
It is advertising.
Right?
It's gotten better as far as people calling it out as sponsored, but it's subtle. It is certainly subtle, to your point. So
if you're a marketer, come up with good creative, target the right people, give them the content that's useful for them in real time, and you'll be successful.
It's that simple.
All right, so in the spirit of Thanksgiving, we want to give a big upvote to one of our favorite brands.
Flagship here in Denver.
Flagship store here in Denver, and that is REI, which stands for Recreational Equipment International. Maybe not. Anyway, they came out and said, you know what? We're closing on Black Friday.
Yep.
Go outside. Hashtag opt outside.
Opt outside. Great campaign. I think Black Friday, at least over the last decade, in a lot of people's minds has become synonymous, and really still is for a lot of consumers, to go out and shop till you drop. And we are marketers. We push products for our clients in many ways, but at the end of the day, it's not always about marketing, even though sometimes we like you to think it is.
Although I guarantee you that by REI closing and getting the press
business
that they've gotten off of that, they will not be hurting.
I agree, but I think at the same time that the opt-outside program is genuine, which is why they will get that. So we talk about ad blocking and all these different ways to get your products in front of consumers. Being genuine in your marketing, no matter what the end goal is.
Understanding your consumer.
Exactly.
REI knows you're an outdoor enthusiast.
Yeah.
Saying, hey guys, take some time with your family, your friends. Go for a hike. Go to a park. Go surf in Mexico. And
yeah, I mean, after you eat all that turkey and you lay down for 4 hours, maybe watch football, take a walk with your family, your friends, your dog, your cat, if your cat is a walker. But big ups to REI. We're going to opt outside. I think that's the end of it today. We hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. Once again, Movember, donate. We'll continue to grow the beards.
check your prostate.
Check your prostate, fellas.
You're over 40.
We'll see you next time.